Hi, mamas! Welcome back to More Than Just Mama. Anyway, today's episode is going to be really short because I wanted to give you an update on part of last week's episode. Do you feel like you've lost yourself in the role of being a mom? Are you struggling to find fulfillment outside of the daily grind? Do you find yourself questioning who you are anymore? Does your current life seem filled with other people's interests, but nothing solely yours? Welcome to More Than Just Mama, where we help you take back your identity and find fulfillment beyond the roles of motherhood. I'm Christine, and each week we'll explore topics like self-discovery, personal growth, creativity, and balance to help you reconnect with who you truly are. On More Than Just Mama podcast, we address the common feelings of lost identity and explore ways and means of rediscovering what gives you joy. You'll gain insights into what your passions are and discover actionable steps to help you reconnect with who you are beyond motherhood. If you are ready to feel more fulfilled and reclaim your sense of self, stay tuned as these episodes guide you on that journey. Last week we talked about finding our creative passion and our creative outlets. Exploring new ideas and new creative outlets and not neglecting the old ones, but finding new ones. And I said I was going to explore learning how to create sculptured earrings, sculptured jewelry, and a 3-ring binder to make that from scratch. So, just wanted to update you guys that I went ahead and finally did the earrings. Now, it wasn't that I was like, oh, wait, I need to do it because I promised to do it. I need to do it because I wanted to do it. Those were at the back of my mind, but I kept on procrastinating. I would watch videos and I'm like, well, what do I want to do? How do I want to do it? Let me learn more. And I'm finding that as I am learning something or trying to understand something better, instead of just learning a little bit about it and then going on and starting it, I kind of fall into the trap of I need to know more. I'm watching videos, I'm reading, I'm learning, and that's, sorry to say this, but that's my form of procrastination. So instead of just taking out my polymer clay and just going at it and just letting my creativity flow, I was like, well, since I've never done it before, how do I do it? So that makes sense. Trying to learn how to do something for the first time, you look at your resources. So I watched some videos, and then I was about to start, and I was like, wait, what am I going to create? And so I was like, oh, it's a holiday season. Oh, it's coming up. So I may as well just start some drawings. What do I want to draw? So I put some sketches together. And so you would think I've kind of figured out how to start it, have my sketches done as a point of reference. So I should be good to go. Well, self-doubt started kicking in. And this is something that you ladies, you mamas are going to experience, and I probably have experienced, especially when you're targeting something new, when you're trying to learn something new, and our self-doubt, not in the fact that we can't do it, but that who am I kidding? It's self-doubt of not being able to do it, not being able to do it well or at all. Any version of self-doubt will race through your mind. And that was what I was struggling with until I finally decided to just sit down, get out the clay, get out my tools, put some movie on. I was watching Godzilla movies, just had it in the background, get out my sketches and go at it. So I'll put up a video, a short clip of my process. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the whole process because I had not realized that I stopped recording. Anyway, getting back to the process, I was going to make a snowman, right? So I first started rolling the clay, and I was like, okay, trying to figure out what size, how heavy it would be once it's cured and all. And so I started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I started doubting the process because in my head, I have the drawing, I'm looking at it, and in my head, I translate it into a certain process that I was trying to do. But as I kept on doing it, I'm like, okay, this is not looking like my picture. Ding, ding, ding. Christine, this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a learning experience. And I was not paying attention to that. I was wanting it to be perfect, to be like my drawing. And so I was like, you know what? I just had to keep my eye off of my sketch for the moment and just figure out the size that I want. Now, if you're making earrings, yes, it's homemade, so they're not going to be identical, but you want to make them similar. So similar size and so on and so forth. So I had to make each ball for each segment kind of similar sized, and then putting it together and so on and so forth. So as I kept on going, I'm like, the joy of creating something was just blooming and blooming. And it was like, I was so excited. I called my son. I was like, come on, take a look. Take a look at the snowman that I'm making. And he was like, oh, so cool. And when my husband got home, I was like, come on, take a look. It was like, I was so excited about this. Now, several things could have stopped me. Now, the self-doubt that I didn't really know what I was doing. I just watched a few videos. Or my sketch is not professional. I may not be able to do it justice. Or the fact that my supplies were limited. I only had white polymer clay. And that could have stopped me. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to regret not starting it. Not just because I promised I was going to do it, but because in my mind, I set that goal. I said I was going to learn how to sculpture earrings or jewelry pieces with polymer clay, which I've never done before. And for those of you that are experts at this, I'm sure if you do see this short clip, you're going to be like, oh, you did that wrong. You could have done this easier, but I had fun. And you know what, ladies? My fun did not stop. I ended up creating several. So I started it was right before lunch or maybe a little bit after lunch. And by the time I look up, I'm like, okay, so I took breaks for food and this and that, things about the house, but not much. And I realized, oh my gosh, it is after 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, you need to stop. You need to stop. Because you know what? I could have just kept on going on. And I was even going off script. Like off my, not paying attention to my designs, my sketches. And it was so much fun. And you know what? I am going back. I'm going to keep on doing it. And I try to kind of hold myself away from doing it yesterday. I think it was Sunday that I did it. So Monday and yesterday, because I was like, once I sit down, I am just going to go at it and just be so absorbed in creating something and fashioning something out of polymer clay to be earrings, to be charms, to be part of necklaces. I mean, this is so much fun. And yeah, it may have been a new creative outlet, but it's definitely going to be an old creative outlet soon. And it's here to stay because this is going to be part of my line and one of my pieces or my lines of jewelry that's going to be coming to the store. So I started thinking about, well, how easy it is for us to either derail ourselves from what we want to make, what we want to do, with all these things that are limiting us or that we think are limiting us. But it's also just as easy to get the ball rolling by starting with what you have, with what lit you have. Because a lot of times we tend to stop moving forward or stop pursuing that interest because we don't have everything lined up. We don't have all the resources. So, for example, my husband has wanted to try his hand at making shadow boxes. And I was like, well, we could try this is something that you want to do. We can see what we can find. And I know at the Dollar Tree, they have these boxes. And I happen to have a few in my crafting supplies. Yeah, I have a hoard of crafting supplies. Anyway, and he was so excited to have those because, yes, they're not going to be what his goal was in making the shadow boxes, but he was like, that's going to be a great start. So he's going to at least start with those and see if he likes it. So just something as simple as that. Now, my next thing is going to be the folder. So I have been looking online, trying to figure out how I want it, what I want to do, and how much of it I want it to be DIY, and how much of it I want to buy and then progress further with the next one, be more of it DIY. And I love DIY stuff. And so I have been kind of dragging my heels on that because I keep on looking at what's online, like the different pieces for it, and I keep on second guessing myself. So that's another thing too. When you find your new possible creative outlet, you might find yourself also second guessing yourself. And that's another reason to delay. That's another cause of delaying. But I would advise you to, instead of second guessing yourself on everything, just pick one thing and go with it. So that's one thing I'm going to be working on is for the folder. Pick one part of it that I was second guessing myself on and move forward with that part. So what would I like you to do today or this week, or whenever you listen to this? I want you to look at your list of creative outlets that you want to explore and pick one that you really love that might seem easier. Break it down into sections, into pieces, and pick one of them to start right now. That shouldn't take you long because once you break it down into smaller pieces, it'll be easier to manage, easier to do, easier to learn about. And before you know it, you're going to be like me who wants to stay up all night creating. So mamas, that was just a short episode this week. I just wanted to share my progress and to encourage you ladies that yes, it is hard to move on or to start a creative outlet, but we should not be the thing that hinders us from moving forward. Do not let your self-doubt, your limited resources, anything that you think might be a hindrance, do not let that stop you. And in fact, you know what? Just you starting off and using what you have will be an encouragement to your family. Because my husband and son, they are looking for things to do and they're excited about different projects and different things. I'm not going to say that it's because of the earrings, but just putting that out there, like where you're setting time aside to be creative, to kind of explore your creative juices. That can be infectious to your loved ones. And you never know that you might find where you and your kids have similar interests, or you can even focus on a project together and find that, oh, you're getting closer and closer together. Anyway, I'm just rambling right now. So have a great week, ladies, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me on More Than Just Mama. I hope you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing, subscribing, rating, and leaving a review. It really helps us reach more listeners who might benefit from our conversations. Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook and our website, revealedconfidence.com, for more updates and resources. And remember, you are more than just a mom. You are a creative, passionate individual with dreams to pursue. Until next time, take care and keep taking steps towards rediscovering your true self.